Hey y'all, this is Candace Spicer, owner of My Vintage Home store and now executive producer of My Vintage Home channel. Welcome to our second episode of My Vintage Home. Today we'll be visiting the home of the Heltons.
Well, hello there. Welcome to the Heltons. Come on in. Candace, come in. And you too, Nico, you come in. This is Junie. I'm Alex Helton. And this is my house with me and my husband, my son, Emmett. Love having you. So the reason my husband, Blake, and I chose this house was I actually thought it was a mid-century ranch. I didn't realize that they had done a lot of the updates and made it more MCM style. And so when we saw the pictures online while we were just shopping online, we thought we got to go see this. And then we fell in love with Smoke Rise. I didn't even know anything about it. And now it's amazing to me how few people in the Atlanta area don't know about this area, about Smoke Rise. The trees, the rolling hills, the big lots. It's amazing. I love it. So a little bit about me. We've lived here 6 years. It's me, my husband, my son Emmett, my husband's Blake, and this dog here is Nico, and we have another dog. She's behind me taking a nap, named Junie, that we just got 2 weeks ago. I've been in the corporate world for a long time, working for Home Depot and Coke and different marketing agencies, and then about 3 years ago, I thought, I want to do something else. And I toyed with becoming a real estate agent and just put one foot in front of the other. And now I am a real estate agent. So I'm pretty new at it. I love getting to know my neighbors. Those are the aspects, making relationships. That's part of the thing I love about being an agent. It is hard work, though, I will tell you. Just staying, it's basically, I opened my own business in my late 50s, let's put it that way. When we moved in, well, first let me say that the people who lived here before us had just 2 recliners. I don't know if that was just what they did while they were moving out, and then we brought all our the furniture from our tiny Decatur house in here, and it just looked like dollhouse furniture. So this was kind of our first adult piece of furniture. I really wanted a sectional. It's great for movies. And then all these cabinets or these shelves here were here, which is so nice because it's just a little place for me to express my inner pack rat. Everything is kind of either thrifted or picked up over the course of my lifetime. I'm a sucker for, just horses. And then, the games are from, so I grew up, I'm an only child, no one to play games with, but, so I buy games like crazy and still no one will play them with me, but having them out makes me feel happy. I've always wanted to have a lot of games. My husband, he traveled a lot. His dad was in big construction, so he was in the Middle East. So we have a ton of great baskets and different things from his travels that I just feel so blessed to have these in our house. And I love that it gives me places to tuck little things and play with arrangements. but I'm always trying to edit. I'm not good at editing. I'm not good at editing myself. One of the things I love about having my own house with big walls is that I can buy art. And a friend of mine, Stacy Davis, about 6-7 years ago started painting, and I watched her progression, and I just said, I got to have a couple of your paintings. And at the time, of course, she was just starting out, so she gave me all the choices I could do, and she did this, and I just love it. It's been in a lot of different places in my house. My mom is a visual artist. My aunt's a visual artist. So I really appreciate that someone in their life is spending time learning or, growing as an artist. And I think it's so cool to have some of their art in the house. So then over here, is that called Kavarna Coffee Shop in Decatur? My mom and I were grabbing a cup of coffee, and this woman, Catherine Nee, she does these photographs of abandoned buildings that still have the furniture in them. So I have a couple of hers, and I just couldn't believe that, she was selling these. And then, and this sounds silly, but I mean, I like a bargain. So when we found out that they were framed, matted, and we each got, I think we got each 2 and took them home. I have another great one of old tube TVs stacked up in a hotel. And these are just some pieces that have come through the family, Blake's family here. And then I have to talk about this pachinko machine, because my husband didn't know that I was obsessed with pachinko, because I just didn't ever think I would have a pachinko machine. But it was one of those things that I had been at a friend's house in maybe 5th or 6th grade, and they had one. And I'd never even really remembered the name. It was sort of like, when I grow up, I'm going to have that thingamajig that kid had. Sean Engelman was his name, in his house. And all of a sudden, one of my birthdays, he picked this up at Decatur Antiques, and apparently it was filthy. If you know anything about pachinko, it's in parlors where people are smoking a ton of cigarettes. So it was just covered in nicotine, and he cleaned it up. And it works. And well, it's not loaded. Okay, so but it works. And sometimes and sometimes I play and I don't get anything, just like that. So a friend of mine from Minnesota, she moved to Seattle and was a school teacher for a long time. And then she decided she wanted to become an artist, and she gave herself, I think she said, I'm going to give myself 3 years to just focus on becoming an artist. And now I think so what happened was, I'd seen some of her pictures on online, or paintings, and I said to Lakshmi Mirhead, and I said, Lakshmi, I'd love to buy, I said, Lakshmi, I'd love to buy one of your paintings, but thinking I'm so cosmopolitan, and I didn't have a very big budget, let's put it that way. So I entered that delicate conversation where you're asking someone, how much do your paintings cost? What can I afford? And I loved it because she said, sorry, honey, I'm not trying to sound stuck up, but you kind of can't afford anything. I've become like a gallery. I have a relationship with a gallery, and I can't discount things, but I can gift you a painting. Sorry. we got Wiggle Bottoms back in the picture. But so to sum up, she basically said that her arrangement with the gallery meant that she could only gift me a painting. And gave me a choice of several different pieces. And I feel so honored that I mean, here I was thinking that I was going to spend my hard-earned money and get a painting of Lakshmi Muirhead. Look her up. She lives in Seattle. And instead, I was gifted this. And so we painted this wall specifically so that we could display her art. And I just love it. I feel so privileged. The kitchen is the heart of the house. And we haven't always had the budget to do what I want. I'm a huge salvage person. Sorry about the puppy making her cute puppy noises and that. We live with this. So we moved in here and I couldn't stand the black countertops. We live with them. I figure if we have enough other distracting color, we've got a puppy situation here, but hey, it's real life. I love that it's kind of organized chaos here. So I haven't always loved this countertop or the things in my kitchen, but you know, we don't have money to just throw out stuff. We have to make do. And that's why I'm a huge thrifter. Everything, it's just hard for me not to, I picture myself like a crow just bringing shiny objects back to the house. So even this the backsplash over here used to be kind of this weird pumice, or, you know, you could have used it to soften your feet. And we went around and around, oh, let's rip it out. Let's do something really cool with the backsplash. And finally, the cheap bastards in us just said, you know what, let's just seal it and paint it something crazy that you probably wouldn't spend a lot of money to buy, bright yellow tile. But suddenly the creative part of us is ready to take a leap. And we love, my husband and I love making switch plate covers in our spare time. We're trying to limit our TV watching and do crazy stuff like this. So I just want to always have, we made this as a silk thing that I coat painted. There are times when sometimes I feel like I'm maybe playing house, because everything I have is either found on the street, thrifted, or pretty inexpensive. I don't like spending a lot of money. I got this table in exchange for helping a friend with her website. I thought this was a weird thing from the thrift store. It's now our charging station. I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. I thought maybe napkins. But yeah, so I just always love figuring out new uses for things, or just things that look weird, I guess. So in these old houses, there was these weird rooms, and there's a fireplace behind there. I mean, we didn't know what to do with this room. So for a while, it was my husband's album listening room, and that was really nice. And then in an effort, I really like making things. I don't consider myself an artist per se, but, oh, and I forgot to mention, when we first moved in, we saw this on a free piano. It's an upright grand, baby grand, and it's really old, and I just love having it. I keep saying I'm going to learn how to play, but I like touching it. And so then I got that just made a weird noise here. So then I said, can we make this room into a place where we just make crazy things, or it doesn't even matter if they're crazy, just things that make us happy. We had a room, we have an apartment downstairs. We had a room that we did that in, and then we rented the apartment. So anyway, so that's what this room is now. All our old National Geographic sewing stuff, tons of pens and paints, and you know, I'm always cutting up things I find at the thrift store. Lots of collage and various things that I can't say no to. So it still has remnants of the album listening room, and it's kind of always in transition. So now what I'm doing is inviting friends over, and I just say, come over for tea and let's make things. And half the time they don't really like the stuff they make, and they leave it for me. Here's something that a friend made the other day. Yeah, so just, they don't want it, I keep it. Everyone can glue something onto another thing, right? Oh, this is also the switch plate room. So I have a ton of switch plates, and they're the easiest thing because just marker or cutting something up, and suddenly you can change a corner of your house. So I think we all, could have a craft room. You should do it. There's always a room that you don't use as much. If you want to start somewhere being creative, maybe you're like me and you can't necessarily draw great pictures, but what you can do is take your dad's 1959 yearbook. That's a great starting point. I mean, I don't need this yearbook. I saved a picture of him, cut that up. I highly recommend books like animal books. It's half the fun of doing it is cutting the pictures out and then putting them together. Boston Terrier book, a baby animals book. I just love figuring out the layout, and I'm learning some stuff about collage that I don't necessarily have to cut the things out perfectly. So, how about a bear with human eyes? That would be cool. But the nice thing is I don't really care. I'm not trying to sell my work, okay? I'm just trying to enjoy my evening. So, recommend it.
Hi, I'm Blake Helton, and I'm just joining in on the fun here in the video. And Alex is there, you've been chatting with you, and I got my hand / wrist cleaner over here, and Nico. But yeah, no, it's been great. Living in this neighborhood, and that was one of the things that drew us towards this house was not only the kind of mid-century modern houses and just the the kind of bigger lots, and just have a lot of big trees, a lot of green space, and that's definitely one of the things I love about this house is feeling like you're in the back of the house. You feel like you're in a tree house, and in the front of the house, it's like totally different. So you get to have a little bit of both worlds. For as a musician, there's definitely a lot of creative people in this neighborhood. Now I'm a drummer, and although I haven't had a chance to play with anybody in the neighborhood yet, I'm still working on that. But definitely done a lot of play a lot of music in this house, and it's a great kind of house for that. Well, we're just taking a little stroll around the house, and I couldn't help but stop and pointing out this print right here, which is probably one of the favorite things that growing up with a mom. She collected a lot of prints and some other artwork, but she was a real big fan of Romero Bearden, and went to one of his exhibits that was at the Mint Museum in Charlotte, North Carolina, like early '80s. And this is one of the prints that she got. But and once one of that he signed a bunch of them. So, but the thing I love about a lot of his collages, which it's kind of a silly thing to always point out, but I always like to try to find them. And there's always at least one little area that you think he might have used mustard on it for as like a color. Like maybe he was there's another one I have. It's like a jazz at the jamming at the Savoy is another cool collage. Some jazz guys, and the drum set looked cool because it looked like he used a piece of foil, like he had maybe had a sandwich that had a lot of mustard on it, and then he used that as the tom-tom. So I thought that was pretty funny. All right, we're just taking a step down into what used to be kind of more of a man, not a man lair / cave, but it's sort of turned into like a combination, kind of craft room, music room. It's nice because you can put a record on and be down here making some art, with like we were talking about before, the collages. I definitely like making collages. Got a couple of them up here that are pretty wacky. I like some wacky things, but but yeah, I think Alex probably talked about doing some thrifting, and I always have to, if I step into the thrift store, I have to go straight for the records and see if I found any goodies. And it's pretty hit or miss, but there's one in particular that that I found. I was really surprised that I found it there, and it was a weather report. The first weather report album, but it's pretty chewed up. But I just even though it was pretty chewed up, I had to grab it because because you're not gonna see that kind of this record in the wild very much. So even if it's like pretty scratched up, it was worth it to it's one of those records I think it's had such a life that the cover I just like it feels kind of soft, like you can feel the fibers in it. It's been taken out and been put back in a bazillion times in its life, which means that's good. It means to listen to it. But yeah, I'm trying to think of some that's about the best thrift store goodie that I found. Trying to think of what else. Trying to think of something else here I can pull out. Let's see. This was actually kind of a good thrift store one. Some Tammy Wynette. That's a good one. You can't go wrong with some sad country. But she's in particular the sadder of the countries. So but I think that goes pretty nicely. If you follow it up with some of the time, if you want some ice cream castles, that's a good follow up for for Tammy Wynette. But let's see, what's something interesting here. Let's see. This one I found. This is a good thrift store one, but it's kind of trashed. It's like a Osabisa, early 70s. But yeah, this is my record show.
If you want to know more about me as a realtor, I work for Century 21 Connect Realty, and feel free to reach out if you need help talking about a home buying or home selling. I'd love to help. Also, I'm a content creator for my neighborhood. I love publishing interesting stories about people around Stone Mountain and Tucker.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's great having you in our house and taking a little tour and hearing some of my awkward descriptions of things, and also getting to know our dogs here that are really anxious to be in as many shots as possible, which is great because they're born for the camera. But yeah, I'm a musician. I play drums and some other stuff, and if anybody's interested in checking out my music, it's on Bandcamp. It's under Blake Helton's Visitor, but I'll put the link in there. But yeah, it's great having you and chatting.